I have FEMA on video from 2000 shot by a firefighter in Kansas City in the training seminar, and we've seen the training manual itself. This is the only time we were sent it being taught. Said that the founding fathers are terrorists, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, they're terrorists, America's bad, these are the enemies of the federal government. And so we broke that as well. But a world exclusive right now, this was sent to us, this is a 2006 Quantico terrorist training video. This was sent to us by someone saying they were with the FBI. We've called the FBI, confirmed this is one of their training videos, but this is not on the web. First time it's ever been seen. Your taxpayer money paid for this paranoia, this induced schizophrenia to show police, military that are now involved in law enforcement illegally, and the FBI that everyone's a terrorist. And that's why when you're with your family photographing the Washington Monument, police come over and ask why you're doing it. As if terrorists, real terrorists that weren't CIA or MI6, wouldn't go and just look at Google Earth or have a hidden camera. It's ridiculous. It's about training you that you're a terrorist. And the FBI is now saying they want to put TSA screeners in shopping malls and metal detectors, and they want to have them on street corners, and Viper teams with the federal marshals are out running checkpoints in Houston and Boston and New York and searching all the subway bags. The Amtrak trains. We're being trained to be prisoners. This is all part of a process of enslavement here in the managed economy. So here it is, the next two segments. Let's just go ahead and play this Orwellian FBI internal training video, which is federalizing local police. Here it is.
Important information on terrorists and their allies. And the Terrorist Screening Center stands ready to help you. Before TSC was created in December 2003, the cop on the street had no way of knowing if someone he'd stopped was associated with terrorism. But now, TSC consolidates the terrorist lists of many agencies, and you connect to them automatically through NCIC. Whenever you run an NCIC name check, you connect with TSC, and running any name that's on our watch list will automatically give you a hit and some specific instructions on how to handle that person.
All right, hit pause right there.
Category he's been designated.
Okay, now this is meant to, again, get the police not into responding to crime when it's happened, because the police will tell you it's not their job to protect you. They have no liability. They're there to respond and enforce the law, because they're elected by the municipal governments that are chartered for the local people under state law. But this is about the police thinking everybody's a terrorist. That's why everybody that gets pulled over now, including my dad, you know, a 60-year-old doctor, gets asked, where are you going? Or, you know, are you a terrorist? Because the police have now been turned into these proactive commissars. And now they're told, pull you over if you got a Ron Paul sticker. My dad got pulled over in East Texas driving back from visiting family. And they walked over. And they said, you come up in the watch list. You're the father of Alex Jones. And they're now dialing into these databases. This was about a year and a half ago. And he said, how do you know this? He said, well, we have a Reuters system, a LexisNexis. It all goes through this federal system. And the guy went ahead and told my dad he was a fan of the show, but just that the cameras the feds have put in their town read his license plate and flagged it. Remember 6 years ago, every car that goes through Florida town has plates run. That's already nationwide. And as they bring in these threat integration centers, all your local police are now being told they have this. Also, I saw a story in 2004, it's in my film Matrix of Evil, an article in the Green Bay News with the governor saying, oh, look, the feds just put in the new system in our threat integration center where if we want to look for somebody, we type up the name of their cell phone, their number, and it pops up in real time tracking them. Now they admit that. The Telecommunications Act of 96, by law, October 1st, 2001, passed in 96. All phones are GPS triangulated off the cell towers, tracked in real time. Now the local departments are phasing it in under federal control. They type in, they pull you up, they hit another key, turns the mic on your phone. They're introducing it to the slaves right now, the fluoride heads out there, as, oh, if a child's lost, the police can dial in and listen. So they're also conditioning the police. So that's what this video is about. This is the feds fully turning the local police into secret police for the non-existent threat of terror when Oklahoma City, 9/11, and every other major terror event, Gulf of Tonkin, Operation Ajax, Operation Northwoods, many of them declassified, is staged terror. Declassified 2004 Army Training Manual. We'll pull that up and show it to the media. Teaches the Army how to stage false flag terror attacks. Army captains and above are taught how to stage terror attacks in America. This is like Canteen, M16, terror attack manual. Carry out the terror. Hoorah! Let's go! Bring down America! Now, let's go back to the video of the real terrorist.
What you should do ranges from clap them in irons to let them walk. Category 1 is for the baddest of the bad. This is someone you should arrest immediately, just like you handle any other warrant. Then call TSC. Odds are you won't see any of these guys. Category 2?
Yeah, hit pause. I just can't help it. Odds are you won't see one. No kidding. It's now been declassified. We knew this 5 years ago when she was on the show, Sybil Edmonds, but under federal gag order, she couldn't go fully public. FBI translator of NSA intercepts. And she said, look, drug running, child kidnapping, it's all CIA, all Al-Qaeda. Bin Laden works for us. That's all I can tell you. She told Congress this and was gagged. She now went and broke the federal gag order 2 weeks ago and said Al-Qaeda was under full U.S. control till 9/11. This is the intercept she's hearing. Wayne Madsen, investigative journalist, has now confirmed that they've got a whole NSA group just watching 9/11 whistleblowers in the government. So see, again, of course you're not going to see level 1. Clap them in irons immediately. Remember Springman, the head of the Jeddah Embassy of Saudi Arabia we had on, was also in the Toronto Star. He wouldn't let Mohammed Atta and others back from that Malaysian terror summit as they were flying back through the Middle East from Asia. And they told him, don't worry, their terror names are just their CIA covers. And then you had the head of the embassy in Canada also went public, not just in Saudi Arabia. And then Colonel Stephen Butler, the head of the Defense Language School, went public in the San Jose Mercury News and AP and said, look, the government did this. They let this happen. These guys were trained at bases. I'm the dean of the school. I called him up, and he said his life was being threatened. He couldn't talk. But the point is, they started a court-martial until he agreed to shut up. This is all staged, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I said I'd get to the video quicker than this. It's so amazing. And then I'm going to go through this folder, how the whole deal is staged. Just Klan group, white supremacists, militias, all of it. It's staged. Any violent group. It's now coming out in congressional testimony about this. It's coming out in mainstream news in Colorado. Missouri's having state hearings about it. I mean, look at these cops dressed up like anarchists. Just look at them. Out there trying to get people to do illegal things in Missouri at the end of the Fed protest. We're on to you. We've caught you. It's over, criminals. But this is the federalization. This is the takeover. Continue with the internal FBI training video that they also give to local police to brainwash and federalize them. Here it is.
You should call TSC right away, and you may be asked to detain them for a reasonable time. You probably won't see any of these people either. Category 3. If you get a hit, it'll most likely be a Category 3. These are people that may have ties to terrorism, but don't know that we know. And we want to keep it that way. So don't let them know that they're on a watch.
See, this is really training the local police to go out and be secret police. But they don't want to make the public mad and know that they've all been turned into secret police. Okay? And so, again, when they're harassing you and asking you questions, I mean, I was sitting there paying a taxi cab to the airport, and a TSA guy just came over and asked where I was from and how I was doing, and it was all right out of this. And one time I was at the Austin airport, and a guy was reading a book, looked like it was out of 1984 with a black and white cover, saying how someone becomes a terrorist. See, it's all part of the mental illness, like the American people are now the Ruskies, and it's the Red Terror, and they're going to have to deal with us, and we're hiding under every table, and Al-Qaeda is going to get us, and there's white Al-Qaeda. Remember years ago I told you they would announce white Al-Qaeda when they were getting ready to focus Homeland Security on the American people, what it was built and designed and set up for, and now they say there's between 4,000 and 6,000 white Al-Qaeda. And then the grandson of the ADL head, Adam Gadon, who got arrested for beating up Muslims at mosque, he suddenly is on TV, Allah Akbar. And they upload his videos in the same video format and with the Intel Center bug, in the same Al-Qaeda bug, in the same video layer. And then it turns out the head of the Intel Center was the adjunct to PsyOps at the CIA and works for Rumsfeld. Oh. I mean, could it get more obvious? Let's continue with the video. Here it is.